this week is really focused on we're going to start fine-tuning a few things, and we're going to start fine-tuning our storyboard. Even if you could just do chicken scratch, or even if you do stick figures, that's okay. Want to take those stick figures, and if you can, find an illustrator. A great story that we have is George Lucas. When he was creating Star Wars, he created his characters in his head. He had a great vision of what they looked like, but he couldn't quite draw them out the way that he wanted. So what he did is he told his vision to artists, and artists can see those visions a lot better as they put them from a mind to paper, because they're artists. They're trained to be artists. They practiced for years and years. George Lucas is a writer and a director, so he didn't practice drawing. All right, as artists, we practice, we fine-tune, and we hone our skill, because that's what we like to do. We don't like to write, we don't like to do math, we don't like to direct, we like to do art. So stick with me and we'll focus on creating our art. Building our books. This week we're going to focus on the assignments. We're going to move from the template sheets of our storyboard format, as you'll see in our examples I'm going to show you here. And then we're going to sketch out our pages and put it into a pattern. And then finally, we're going to work on our cover. All right, just going to do a little sketch of our cover. So our storyboard really starts out with putting multiple pages together and then putting them into a successive format. Now, storyboards usually start with our opening page, and then we start sketching into all of our objects. Now, this storyboard here is brought to us by an artist that is named John Shelley. Now, he does a lot of graphic novel and storyboard formats, and this one is the Halloween Forest format. And if you want to look at that, go ahead and you can click on the links here if you have your page available on Google Classrooms. And there are also other types of children's books that you can also click on too, and to get better thumbnail templates. If you want to lay yours out in a format like this on a large sheet of paper, that's good. But what I prefer to do is I will actually take my larger sheets of paper that have my characters on, and I will start to lay them out in a successive order. Now, here I've numbered my pages. I have page 1, page 2, page 3, and they run in a format that makes my book come together. Let me zoom out a little bit here, and you'll kind of see what's going on. So this page here, this is page 5, and then my page rolls back like this, and then my pages will lay on top of each other, and it actually is in kind of like a book format. And finally, my last page being on the back. So my front cover would pretty much is like this, which I'll show you in just a second. And then it opens up to this first page here with the second page. And then finally, even though there's 2 pages here that are laid out in kind of a successive format, I laid them into a book style pattern. 3 to 4, and then finally this next page here will be 4 to 5, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of how my book is coming together. Simple storyboards can even include simple drawings and pictures. Here's one from a local artist. If you're a good artist, then you're probably going to take your time on your storyboard in order to get that really initial rough draft. But really, storyboards are just doing simple pencil sketches. You have your eraser, you have your pencil, and you just go to town. It's almost like what we call scribbling, which is just, it's a little bit of scribble and it's a little bit of wobbling, and you just put your characters and understand where they're gonna go in your book format. Finally, we have moving to a colorized version of our storyboard where we actually have stronger figures. We're now looking at warmer colors. We're looking at cooler colors for our characters. We're starting to understand what our characters and design of the book want to be. And then finally, we can move into larger panels and actually working in our book format a lot like we did here with this book. So, and then finally, our last little bit of challenge is going to be working on our cover. The most memorable portion of a book is going to be that cover. Your cover is going to have exactly what's in the title, what it's going to be about, the characters that are in the book. It's going to reach out to your audience and it's going to grab them. And it's that book that you're going to want to pick up. Your kids are going to want to pick up. Other kids are going to want to pick up year after year and say, read it again. And that's where your cover comes into play. So do 1 or 2 or 3 rough drafts of that color to get your characters in there, to get your colors that you want, that reaches out and really grabs people. So my initial rough draft of building a cover was meant to reach out and grab someone. My whole idea was, in my story, it's about a kid that goes out and plays in the rain. And in the rain, he has these adventures. But first, we have to start somewhere. He wants to go outside and play. So I build an initial wanting, a need, how we've all looked out a window when it's raining, when we really wanted to go outside and play, and we couldn't go. So I wanted to try to build my character a little stronger to make and give him that need to go outside, but also the need for the reader to pick up the book and find out this kid's adventure. So as I add my shading, and as I add my foreground characters, and as I add my depth, and as I add my font, you'll start to see the covers start to come together. And like I said, this is just my rough draft. This is just the initial drawing that I want to do for my cover. And I'll probably work on 2 or 3 more rough drafts with this. And I might even completely change the picture altogether. This is really a lot of focus because this is your grab. This is what's going to slap people in the face and go, read my book. So focus on this one the most. And then work your characters from here into the rest of your book. Hope you enjoy the rest of this drawing here. If you have any questions, you can always contact me on comments or shoot me an email. You know my email. And please come to the Google Classroom that we have set up for our class if you are in our class. So have a great week and enjoy the music and art on. Food for thought is, once again, the best written, designed, and illustrated books capture their imagination from the very start. Once you reach the last page, of children's books, you definitely want to hear them say, read it again. So if you ever remember sitting in kindergarten class, picking up the book, bringing it over to the teacher and say, read this to me. And they said, but we already read that. And then you didn't care. You just wanted to read it again because it was so good. I hope your book can be as good as that. Follow along with the rest of this lesson, and we'll get through our books by the end of the semester. Thanks, and enjoy your art.